Let them believe you're average. Let them think you're just another face in the crowd. Let them assume you're not built for this, because that silence, that lack of attention, that's your greatest weapon. You're not the loud one. You're not the flashy one. You're the one who moves in the shadows, patient, focused, dangerous. While they chase claps and likes, you're chasing something real, something they can't understand. Let them doubt. Let them roll their eyes when you speak your vision. Let them mock the way you grind while everyone else is relaxing. Good, because when they underestimate you, they let their guard down, and that's when you strike. You don't need to explain. You don't need to convince. You just need to keep showing up, keep pushing, keep building when no one's watching, because that's when killers are made, in the dark. Let them think you're soft. Let them think you're quiet. Let them think you're dreaming too big. Because while they're comfortable, you're getting cold, sharp, and calculated. You're turning pressure into fuel. You're turning pain into discipline. You're not trying to impress them. You're preparing to shock them. And when that moment comes, when you step into the spotlight fully formed, battle-tested, and locked in, you won't need to speak. You won't need to announce anything. They'll feel it. They'll know. They'll remember the day they overlooked you, because that's the day they made their biggest mistake. So let them sleep. Let them doubt. Let them talk. You just keep becoming the storm. There's a moment in every man's life when he realizes the world doesn't care. It doesn't care how hard you try. It doesn't care how much potential you have. It doesn't care what you say you're going to do. And that moment right there is when the real ones separate from the spectators. Because you can fold, or you can flip the switch, go silent, go underground, and start building a version of yourself that nobody's ready for. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's the decision to shut up and show up, to do the work while everyone else talks about it, to grind in the dark while the world is too distracted to notice, to suffer when no one is watching, just so you can rise when it matters most. See, the average man craves attention. He needs to be seen. He needs people to pat him on the back just to keep moving. He wants to be recognized even before he's earned it. But not you. You don't need their eyes. You don't need their approval. You don't need their applause because you know something they don't. The lion doesn't need to announce the hunt. The wolf doesn't need a crowd when it stalks. And the man who's truly dangerous, he moves in silence. Let them underestimate you. Let them write you off. Let them laugh. You don't need to convince them. You're not here for that. You're here to conquer. And while they flex for followers, you're building muscle. While they complain about the grind, you're married to it. While they look for shortcuts, you're out here bleeding for every inch. Because every rep in silence is a rep closer to dominance. Every quiet morning, every cold night, every lonely session, that's your edge. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. They scream for attention. You walk in like you own the place, and when you leave, they know your name without you saying a word. You don't beg for respect. You earn it in sweat, pain, and relentless consistency. Because here's the truth. The most feared man in the room is never the loudest. He's the one who doesn't need to speak. He just looks you in the eye, and you already know. You already know he's been through hell. You already know he's bled for every step. You already know he's not the type to quit. That's you, or that's who you're becoming. Not because you talk about it, but because you're living it, day by day, brick by brick, in silence. They don't see the 5 a.m. alarms, the missed parties, the skipped comfort, the reps that burned, the failures that cut deep, the nights you cried and kept going anyway. They don't see that, but they will, because eventually that silence turns into a presence, an energy, a pressure. You walk into a room and they feel it because you paid the price, and now you carry the power. Power you didn't buy, power you didn't fake, power you earned in solitude, in discipline, in silence. So, don't announce it, don't explain yourself, don't warn them. Just keep showing up, keep grinding, keep building. Let them overlook you, let them doubt you. And when the day comes, and it will come, when they finally see what you've become, don't say a word. Just stand there, unshakable, unbreakable, undeniable. Because by then, your silence will be screaming success. Not with words, but with results, with power, with presence. You are not noise, you are not talk, you are not hype. You are a man of war, a man of grit, a man of strategy. And your silence, that's your deadliest weapon, because when it's time to speak, it won't be with words. It'll be with impact, with dominance, with legacy. This is your time. Build in silence, rise with fire, and make the world regret the day they ignored you. No one needs to know your next move. You don't owe the world a single update. Not your progress, not your pain, not your plans, not your passion. You don't owe them clarity when they only ever offer doubt. The truth is, they were never really watching to support you. They were watching to see if you'd fall. They were watching to count your failures, not your effort, not your hunger, not your drive. So stop giving them the privilege of front row seats to your grind. They haven't earned it. Let them think you've disappeared. Let them assume you gave up. Let them wonder, what happened to him? Is he still chasing that dream? He used to post every day. What's going on? Let them talk, because you're not here to be seen. You're here to become. And becoming doesn't need an audience. It needs obsession. It's forged in darkness, in rooms where the air is heavy and quiet, where the clock keeps ticking, but you don't stop working, where every rep, every step, every drop of sweat has no likes, no comments, no applause, just forward motion. Let the world run their mouths while you run your race, while you build in silence, while you push through pain, while you rise without validation. Your next move should be so silent it feels like exile. But when you return, you come back with results that roar so loud they echo. Because when it hits, when the work you've been doing finally surfaces, when the late nights, the lonely hours, and the self-discipline start showing, it won't be what happened. It'll be how the hell did he do that? And they'll never know, because they weren't with you in the fire. They weren't with you on the nights when you were too tired to stand, but too determined to quit. They weren't with you when your own doubt whispered louder than your motivation, and you chose to keep going anyway. You didn't ghost the world. You just chose you over them. You chose the process over the spotlight. You chose the pain over popularity. You chose the mission over their meaningless opinions. And now, you're not just grinding, you're evolving. You're turning pressure into power, you're turning sweat into strength, you're turning silence into success. You see, kings don't explain, they execute. And lions, they don't lose sleep over the thoughts of sheep.